college basketball presented by 5 Hour Energy. We're at the Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa, where today's Big 12 matchup is between number 3 Kansas and Iowa State University. Here are the standings in the Big 12 Conference. It is KU on top, undefeated in conference play, and only 1 loss during the regular season, followed by K-State, Texas, Missouri. Iowa State sits at 1-2 with 12 victories during the regular season. Hi, everybody. Rod Franklin along with Fran Fraschilla, and welcome to Ames, Iowa. They talk about Hilton magic. Is there enough magic in this building today to help them get by this highly ranked KU team?
They're going to need the fans for sure, Ron, but they're also going to have to stay out of foul trouble. It's a thin bench. You have to need a big performance from Craig Brackens and Marquez Gilstrap inside.
Take us through the Star Watch. Young Marcus Morris has been playing totally out of his mind.
Pine time has been good for the young sophomore from Philly.
Has been.
It's paid off for him. 20 points the last 3 games. Marquez Gilstrap, junior college transfer. He's a senior, but he's got 3 Big 12 players, rookies of the week already.
So it's going to be Collins, Morningstar, Henry Morris, and Aldrich. And starting for Iowa State, it'll be Garrett, Christopherson, Gilstrap, Brackens, and Justin Hamilton. The referee today is J.D. Caldwell. And the umpires, Brad Ferry and Hal Lust. Ball in the air, tip in the backcourt, and it goes to KU.
We talked about that thin bench, Ron. 7 scholarship players. Fatigue's going to be a factor today.
Collins back out to Morningstar. Going to take a 3. Quiets the crowd immediately. There are a lot of people wearing the crimson and blue of Kansas here to see this ball game today.
It's about a 4-hour drive from Lawrence, and of course we're right located just north of the Sunflower State.
Hamilton outside, Christopherson, and he goes inside. Errant pass stolen, Collins. Marcus Morris puts it on the floor. Little reverse on the pivot, and he swishes it. And KU with a very hot start on the road.
You know what you like about Marcus Morris, Ron, is he can score outside and in. You see the way he dribbled down Brackens into the lane?
Lost it, and another turnover against the Cyclones. Coach McDermott it up and very positively clapping his hand, saying, hey guys, let's get it going now. We're down 4-zip. We don't need to spot them anymore.
Kansas plays every game with the bullseye on their back.
Collins again, and he hits again. It's a 2. 6-0. The Jayhawks pitching a shutout to get things underway here at Hilton Coliseum. Out on the wing, 3-pointer won't go. Aldrich rebounds. Morningstar off to Morris. Marcus Morris strong to the basket, and a timeout is called by Greg McDermott.
One of the things you want to do, Ron, is get off to a quick start when you're the road team. Take a look right here. Brady Morningstar, the best ball mover that Bill Self has. Good catch by Marcus Morris, who has been red hot as of late.
Bill Self, and he can't be displeased with what has happened with this start right here. 8-0. They are perfect in shooting. The move by Morris as he just continued to be aggressive and take it strong to the hoop. So for the Cyclones, 3 possessions, 2 turnovers, and obviously that needs to be righted very quickly as well. And now we see Kansas coming out with, is it going to be token pressure, or will they back off?
No, I think they want to go for the juggler, because they know that the Cyclones have a very thin bench. Always important when you're on the road to get off to a quick start, try to take the home crowd out of it, and they've done that so far.
Well, they really have. Hoping that this man right here, Brackens, can come up with the same kind of contest he had last year. 42 points against these Kansas Jayhawks. Collins Another shot on the road, and they're human. They missed a shot. Foul against Marcus Morris, KU.
Sharon Collins playing with house money that time with the quick lead. That was just a one-on-one situation. Guarantee you he'll move the ball more when they need to really run offense.
Hamilton being guarded by Cole Aldrich. Inside, and there he is. Number 21, Craig Brackens, a junior from Palmdale, California. Has had 24 double-doubles in his career. Aldrich strong to the basket. Little too hard on the shot. Taken down by Gilstrap. Christopherson left hand on the drive, and he scores it. And now they cut it in half, 8-4.
And if you're Kansas right now, you do not want this Cyclone crowd into the game.
Nice play. Aldrich handed the ball off literally to Collins and then took his large body straight to the hoop, and the bounce pass was right there for him.
One thing about Kansas, Ron, they're so used to being the bullseye when they go on the road. Why they're so good on the road is they always stay in character. That's a simple backdoor off a ball screen. We've seen that about 1,000 times.
Well, they converts it, and a three-point play for Cole Aldrich to start for the Kansas Jayhawks. So 11-4, our new score. The foul, by the way, was on Justin Hamilton, his first, the sophomore from Alpine, Utah. Okay, Dave Pash, thanks so much. Great job as usual, my friend. Our situation, Kansas on the road, but off to a very hot start. 11-6 Jayhawks in the early going.
Take a look at this, Ron. You talk about authority. Marquez Gilstrap trying to get the Cyclones back in this game. This young man has had a major impact on Cyclone basketball this season. He's a junior college transfer, but he's a senior, and they're trying to restore that last year of eligibility.
And I'm going to tell you, in the preseason, he was the Big 12 preseason newcomer of the year. And you say, wait a minute, he's a senior. We'll explain that, but it takes a little while.
That's exactly right. 4 Big 12 Rookies of the Week awards already for Gilstrap.
Here's Morning Star. Kansas opened the ball game hitting the first 4 shots, and now they have missed 3 of their last 4. Whistle on the foul, and that's going to go against the Jayhawks. And it's against Aldrich. It is his first. So team fouls, 2 against the Jayhawks and 1 against the Cyclones. As you look at Bill Self.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, Ron, when Brackens catches the ball in the low post, he will get double teamed today. How he reads that is going to be a big part of their offensive efficiency.
Three-pointer on the way, Christopherson. Scott, a sophomore out of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
An over and back violation. Kind of interesting.
Rarely called, but Brad Ferry, the umpire right there, said nope, over and back.
That happened Thursday night in the Louisville-Seton Hall game.
So, Fran, 11-9, and the Cyclones they've crawled their way back into this when they were down 8-0. But they talk about Hilton magic, and it is something that this Coliseum seems to have. Right now, the crowd's back in it. That's not good for KU.
No, we've been here so many times, Ron. These are great fans. They're loyal. Whether the Cyclones are winning or losing, they come out, and they particularly come out when the Jayhawks roll up I-29.
Craig Brackens last year, 42 points against this KU ball club. Talk about the kind of difference he can make.
Well, what he is a big guy that can score inside. He can also shoot the ball from behind the arc. But most importantly, Ron, let's break him down in terms of what happens when he does catch the ball in the low post. A good post player is always going to catch and look to the middle of the floor because he can recognize the double team and find the open man. That's a great look to the weak side corner. Here's another example. Catches and looks middle. Realize the double doesn't come quick enough, so he spins off the Duke defender, scores inside. And then watch this now. This is terrific. Catches the ball. The double team will come. By looking middle, he sees his cutter to the rim. And that's the improvement he's made and become more than just a one-dimensional scorer.
Well, Brackens is a very emotional player, but I like the fact that he plays the game and talks very little. He just lets his actions speak for themselves. And as I mentioned just a moment ago when we came on the air, in his career, 24 double-doubles against Texas Tech the other night. He had a 14 and 10, 14 points, 10 rebounds.
Now watch it. Here's one double. Now look at Aldridge. He comes at 6'11", and that pass is just a little high. But then you got to play inside where he recognizes, sees. There's the kick out. Ball swings, and that opens up Gilstrap to go all the way to the hole before Kansas can rotate.
Take a look at the Big 12 standings since we have not had an opportunity to do that. Sitting on top, KU 3-0 in conference play, only one loss regular season. Iowa State at 1-2, and it's K-State at 3-1, Texas 3-1, Missouri at 2-1.
I mentioned to you, Ron, I watched that Kansas-Baylor game that you and Hubert Davis did the other night. I had the sound down, and with the sound down, it was clear just watching Baylor how good they were.
Christopherson just a little bit off in the three-pointers. By the way, Iowa State friends started 0 for 2. Since then, they are 4 of 6, and this is a 9-3 run by them. Henry over to Collins. Markieff Morris in the ball game. The second twin who has not been starting has been Marcus. Left-handed bouncer inside. Nice ball movement on the part of the Cyclones. But Collins was right there defensively to be sitting in Garrett's camp. Inside with the jumper, count it, and an opportunity for a three-point play. Justin Hamilton.
Deontay Garrett did a really good job in the pick and roll of holding on to the basketball until he got deep in the lane and dropped it off to Hamilton at the last minute. This is good basketball. He took Hamilton's man away from the basket, and he wasn't able to recover back to the big guy.
Substitution in the ball game. It's going to be Tyrell Reed checking into the lineup. Brady Morningstar, who started the ball game, will go to the bench. And Dominique Butler, a sophomore out of Detroit, 6'2", 200 pounds, into the lineup for the Cyclones. He wears number 1. This crowd is up and making a lot of noise. First lead of the afternoon by Iowa State. Whippy into the ball game.
The Arizona transfer.
And the pass too tall and a little too hard. And who was the guy right there with his palms down saying to his teammate, Craig Bracken, saying, let's calm down. Let's stop giving Kansas any help because they simply do not need it. I haven't seen him in the 6 games that I've seen KU this year. Coach McDermott has never beaten Kansas, and it's 8 straight wins by KU against Iowa State. But the turnover right there, and it goes right back to the Cyclones.
Well, right now, if you're Deontay Garrett and these guards, you just want to hit singles. Don't try to hit the home run ball.
There's Bracken.
Yeah, there you go.
Boy, he's money. What a nice-looking ball player. And like I said, he does not get into any kind of vocal disagreements with the other team. He just plays his game. Timeout called by KU. We'll take it with him. 14:29 left until halftime. Cyclones on top by 1. Welcome to ESPN College Basketball, presented by 5 Hour Energy. And, of course, we're at Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa. Folks, let me tell you something. I don't know if you've ever been to this part of the world or come to Hilton to see a basketball game. There are great fans all over the world. There are great fans in the Big 12. This group right here, I've been here with storms, snowstorms, ice storms. They're going to be here. They're going to pack the house, and they'll stay to the very end. They are wonderful, wonderful home fans.
Well, you remember, I've said this in the past. Nice is in the DNA of people here in Ames.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Xavier Henry off the mark on a shot. Touched last by Brackens, and it's going to stay with KU, and they get a new 35.
Xavier Henry, who we saw get off to such a great start this year, including that career-high 31 against LaSalle, Ron. Last 9 games, shooting only about 33% behind the arc.
Errant pass. For some reason, Xavier didn't move on the basketball. And that's what Sharon Collins is telling him. You got to come toward me. You know, I can't just throw it right to you with the defender right there. Let me ask you this. Hubert and I talked about it the other night just a little bit. Xavier right now seems to me that he is more reticent to take that 22, 23-footer, which he had no conscience taking earlier. Why?
I think part of it is he's deferred to Sharon Collins, Ron, who's been so good lately.
Here's Henry, takes it strong to the hoop here and scores following the turnover, and give credit to the KU defense. They go back on top, 15-14. Marcus Morris working against Brackens. But boy, I'll tell you, that's a tough possession right there. And it looks as though Hamilton will pick up the foul, and if he does, it's going to be his second. Yes, second one on Hamilton.
Well, remember, Ron, Xavier Henry opened his career first game 27 against Hofstra. He was really good early, and he's still pretty good, but lately you see as he finishes strong, he's deferred the team back over to Sharon Collins, who has been so good lately.
Xavier had 7 steals on Wednesday. He had 5 for ended like the first 6 minutes of the ball game. Collins with the long jumper, unlucky on the shot. That's Gilstrap who will come down with it.
See, this is basically a 7-man roster. Lucas Steiger, the young man from Germany, left this week, left him even more shorthanded.
Buckley, offensive foul. Marcus Morris defending. Bill Self up to congratulate his player.
Well, this is what we talked about. If you're those Iowa State guards right now, do not try to hit doubles and triples. Keep it simple. You got a couple offensive weapons inside in Brackens and Gilstrap. Play through them.
Little KU came out to an 8-0 lead in this ball game, and very quickly Cyclones came right back. Looking for the bounce pass. Morningstar for 3. Got it.
Wow.
I'll tell you, between Reed and Morningstar, Bill Self is really getting some quality minutes out of some quality players who are not necessarily what you would call your headline players.
No, you know, we've described them like this in the past, Ron. They're no mistake guys.
That's right.
They move the ball, they make open shots, and they defend.
Dindy against Withy. Gilstrap partially blocked, and Withy comes down with the basketball for KU.
So far, Iowa State's done a good job of keeping the Jayhawks out of transition.
Marcus Morris.
Hard to guard, Ron, because he can hurt you at the rim, and he can also take you away from the basket. The improvement the Morrises have made this year has been really, really solid, and you got to give a lot of credit to Danny Manning, who's been a tutor for these Jayhawk big guys.
Steal right there.
Yep.
Picked up an offensive foul a moment ago. Gets a steal right here. I'll tell you something about Marcus. As Morningstar a little bit off, and that may be a push for the second foul against Morris. Well, I'll finish that story in just a minute. Let's take a timeout. 11:31 left until halftime. We come back, we'll go inside the Kansas huddle. 20-14 Jayhawks.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. And in part by the all-new 2010 Lexus GX.
Kansas leads by 6. Bill Self in that huddle is talking about making sure on defense you keep moving your hands, moving your feet, and staying in position. Don't pick up silly fouls because you're out of position. He also emphasized that we have an advantage in depth, and let's run them so we can wear them out a little bit. Back to you, Ron.
Okay, Fran, thanks very much. Let me tell you what just happened. We looked up at the board, and officially they were saying that Marcus Morris had 3 fouls. Well, I'm sure, folks, it's probably about the 10,000th time in their life that the Twins have been confused, but Markeith has 2 and Marcus has 2. So they got it squared away. But for a moment, they had Marcus down with 3 fouls, which is not the case. Only has 2. You didn't have your headsets on. I just said probably for the 10,000th time in their life they have been confused. The official score had that happen to him just now. Strong to the basket on the drive was Dindy, and he was fouled.
It was a pretty calm Bill Self in that huddle. But I think one thing, as I mentioned, Ron, he's got a huge advantage in depth. And a lot of circumstances this year with injuries.
Robinson picks up the foul. Men's college basketball action tonight in ESPN's primetime. Number 6, Duke takes on number 16, Clemson. Saturday primetime, of course, presented by DirecTV. Coverage begins 8 o'clock, college game day. Driven by State Farm. Misses that shot and taken down by Cole Aldridge. Whitney came in, and that might have been a little message sit down as far as Big Cole is concerned.
Well, I think you're right. You know, the expectations for Aldridge and Brackens this year has been really enormous.
That is a great defensive play by Dindy. He realized Collins was going to reverse the shot and got a hand on it.
Dindy, one of those 2 junior college players that has really helped solidify his front line. You see Laron with the shot block at Indian Hills Junior College right here in Ottumwa.
Robinson walked. All he had to do was just take the ball, put it on the floor, and he was at the basket, but he had to stop and think about it a bit. And then you have to tell yourself, yes, but he's only a freshman.
Tyshawn Taylor, Ron, he's gotten up off the bench. Young man who has been in the newspaper lately.
Got a hand on that and created the turnover. Yeah, he sure did. There were some hints this week that he might be unhappy and want to leave at KU as the shot is off the mark and taken down by Iowa State. Gilstrap off on the wing. Blocked. Who got it first? Robinson, I think. Anyway, the head coach this morning issued a statement through the Sports Information Department saying, I'm not going to answer this again. We've talked. There's nothing to it. And if anybody is unhappy on this basketball team, come to me and I'll take care of it, which means you're out of here. But we're not going to have distractions like this.
Well, Tyshawn Taylor was a guy that averaged 9 points a game in high school on the national championship team. He got a great opportunity to play a year ago, Ron, as a freshman.
Oh, the 19s.
Yeah, well, and also here at Kansas, because they lost so many good players from the national championship. Frankly, he's a good player. He's not a great player. And I think there were some people back home telling him that he was ready for the NBA. A tragic mistake. He is a good, solid college guard, but right now, no more than that.
Sometimes you get in a lot of trouble just eating up what somebody's telling you because they're telling you what you want to hear, and that's not always the case. There's a nice move by Taylor, and he kisses it off the glass. The head coach over there in the gray suit's the one that's going to tell you whether it is right, wrong, or indifferent, and that's his job. It's the reason he makes a lot of money. And but I'll tell you right now, Bill, whoa, the slam by Dindy.
Another really nice feed to get by Deontay Garrett. He's done a good job in that pick and roll of holding on to the ball until he gets Dindy's man to commit to him, and then drops it off really nicely.
Xavier Henry. That ball partially blocked, I think, by Brackens, and they get the ball back and get the easy 2 on the putback by Thomas Robinson.
That's an example of a bad shot being bad luck, because Xavier Henry shot a ball that Brackens easily blocked.
Here's the point we're making a moment ago as they turn the ball over into the backcourt, and the foul is going to be called on Colvin. And he was trying to hold up Henry because Morningstar was just trying to save it by simply throwing it into the backcourt. I'll put a period on what I was talking about a moment ago. Bill Self was about as succinct as you possibly could be this morning when he said, that's the answer to that question. I'm not answering again, and that's to all media and fans. We're not talking about that anymore. Aldridge on the turnaround jumper. And friend, you're a former head coach. That's what you got to do.
No, you know what? Believe me, Tyshawn Taylor is a good fit for this team, but they'll win whether he was here or whether he wasn't. There's 2 or 3 other guys that are being recruited now that are waiting to see if he'll stay or leave. Oh, I like what he's doing today, Ron.
Boy, Craig Brackens is just fun to watch. Really nice player, nice stroke. Well, Robinson again takes it off the floor. Robinson just strong to the hoop and scores it. Now, Iowa State's got a situation that happened this week that to me is one of the darndest things I've ever heard of. A player said, I'm going to go back home to Germany and play. I'm going to leave in the middle of the season. And we'll explain that in just a minute. Morningstar, and that ball partially blocked. That was Deontay Garrett who got a hand on it. Aldridge. Tell you what, when he squares himself like that, whether he's taking it onto the hoop or the short jump hook, that is very, very difficult to stop. And if you do, most of the times you foul it. Biggest lead of the afternoon game. It is up by 12, Jayhawks. They jumped out to an 8-0 lead. Cyclones came back and went on top. And now 12-point lead. Too hard off the back iron by Brackens. Out on the wing, here's Robinson. Taken away, and a good job by Scott Christopherson. And at the other end, Aldridge with the break.
Iowa State trying to hang around with some athleticism. They trail by 12, but you can see they love playing above the rim.
30-18, KU on top. Men's college basketball continues Monday with a pair of historic rivalries. First at 7, it's number 14 Georgetown heading to the Carrier Dome against number 5 Syracuse. Then at 9 Eastern, the Missouri Tigers face off in Kansas against the Jayhawks, number 3. And Big Monday presented by Bud Light, all a part of ESPNU Campus Connection. As you look at Wesley Johnson, he formerly played here with this Iowa State team. And then all of a sudden had this epiphany and wound up in Syracuse. I guess he was looking for a school with more snow than Iowa State had, friend. That's the only thing I can figure.
Well, we saw Wesley Johnson as a freshman, and we saw his potential as the derisive cheer of the crowd here for that foul call.
They thought there should have been a foul on the last play, and they stand up, and so the officials can see it. Robinson picks up his second. By the way, on this run right here, KU on a 17-4 run. Cyclones had led it 14-13, as I mentioned to you, and then KU came back with a vengeance. So it has been a thing of spurts for them. 8-0 and now 17-4.
And you would expect that from a team that has the kind of depth and firepower off their bench.
Speaking of depth, 8 bench points and 8 different players have scored in this afternoon's ball game.
Craig Brackens talked about being more aggressive for a ball game like this. He certainly has been today. Done a good job of reading double teams and also playing in an isolation game.
Xavier Henry. Collins, plenty of time on the shot clock. Henry bounces it back. Still 9 seconds on the shot clock. Collins looks up. Then they'll start to play. Spin move. Ball is blocked. Gilstrap.
Boy, excellent possession. What a block by Gilstrap from the weak side.
And that's going to be a foul on number 10, Tyshawn Taylor, I believe.
Shot clock was running down. Take a look at this. Out of nowhere comes Marquez Gilstrap, the junior college transfer from Gulf Coast Community College in Florida. Gilstrap was a little animated when he got fouled, Ron. He clapped his hands hard, and Brad Ferry, rather than issuing a technical right now, just had a little stern talking to as he continues to do that. That's good officiating. You don't want to penalize a guy for overexuberance, but you also don't want poor sportsmanship as well.
Start say exuberance is one thing and taunting is another.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. (30-20) our score right now. Hamilton will come back into the lineup. He's playing with 2 fouls. And heading to the bench, number 22, Laron Dende, a junior out of Greenville, South Carolina. He is their top post player reserve, and he showed a blocking ability and also good defensive ability.
Yeah, he comes out of a great junior college program right here in the state, Indian Hills. Jeff Kidder, the coach there, was an Eddie Sutton protege.
Henry almost lost it. 3-pointer on the way, off the mark, taken down KU, and now here comes Iowa State on the carom. Off the glass, missed on the follow. Gilstrap couldn't get it to go.
Well, that was great effort by Gilstrap. He just came up a little short. And then Deontay Garrett gets called for tripping. That's one of those absolutes this year. That's his 3rd foul. This is again a team that has to play through foul trouble today.
Yep. And Greg very smartly gets him back to the bench because he certainly can't have him get number 4 in this last 5 minutes and 57 seconds. We got a couple of seconds here as we watch play. Get us into the story on the young man from Germany who just picked up this week and shocked his coach by saying, I'm hitting the Autobahn, I'm out of here. I'm going back to Germany and play professional basketball.
That's right. Lucas Steiger. Germany's a country, Ron. They don't have great basketball there, be honest. You know, we know Dirk Nowitzki's great, but Steiger, who's an average Big 12 player, is considered one of their top prospects in the German Pro League, and he just picked up and left this week. He would have gotten the same money in the summertime. There was some talk that he felt like he wasn't making the improvement as an all-around player here, but that's total nonsense. He could have left last spring or after this season. What he did to this team was wrong.
And to the head coach. Greg McDermott is witty with the follow, and he jams it home. That's 10 points average per night out of his lineup on a team that's already got one guy looking for a medical red shirt, and Boozer, who got an ACL against Texas, can't play anymore. And
2 guys that he's very high on, Greg McDermott, who are redshirting freshmen he doesn't want to waste right now. Only 7 scholarship players remain.
32-21. Iowa State trails. And I'll tell you what, this young guy, Scott Christopherson, the first time I've seen him in person, and he can pick up some slack now. He's a nice player.
Well, when he was at Marquette, Ron, he played behind a lot of really good guards, including Dominique James and Wesley Matthews. And there really wasn't any playing time for him, but they were very high on him. But he chose to get a little closer to home. Not that it's much closer, getting an opportunity to play.
Christopherson has 7 points in this one. And that's exactly what he averages. So with 4:41 left in the first half, he is ahead of schedule. And he, picking up some slack for the average absence of the young German player.
Well, he has.
You're going to have to help him out.
Scotty Christopherson. La Crosse, Wisconsin is in the southwestern corner of the state of Wisconsin, right there on the Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin line.
So that's the first personal foul against Christopherson. Team fouls, Jayhawks with 8 and now 7 on the Cyclones. Sharon Collins.
Well, this guy right now, Ron, when you want a big shot in college basketball, there's 2 guys I would go to. Scotty Reynolds of Villanova, Sharon Collins of Kansas.
Let me tell you something. Wednesday night, we sat there watching that ball game against Baylor, which is a very good game, by the way. Collins in the first half, it was assist, assist, assist. Second half, they needed him to score more, and he said, okay, I'll change coach. And he did, and that's what you're pointing out.
Well, the 3 he made in the final minute when they were up 2, I would not have let him shot that ball if I were Scott Drew. I would have made someone else shoot it, because once he launched it, Ron, I knew it was going in.
Well, Brackens reverses on the jumper. Aldridge comes away with it. Brackens has not scored a lot in the last few minutes.
Well, partly because he's got a 7-foot guy shadowing him, and that's why Withy's been so valuable today.
Three-pointer, nope, too hard off the back iron. Tipped out, Morningstar, and it's going to be saved by Christopherson.
Stepped on the end line, on that sideline.
Okay, John, thanks very much. Look forward to hearing that. Of course, Michigan State trying to stay on top in the Big Ten Conference. Always tough, the Spartans.
They always seem to mature right around NCAA tournament time.
Don't they? It's, you know, Tom Izzo has done such a marvelous job up there. The shot off the mark, Withy not there, battling inside, and with a 6'10" and a 7-footer, and Withy looks over and smiles and said, "Hey, right now, Cole, we're playing volleyball, buddy."
Well, this is a young man, Jeff Withy, who transferred from Arizona, sat out all last year. Cole Aldridge, Ron, you know, you talk about expectations, only averaging 10 points a game and really not averaging a lot of shot attempts. Early in the year, we know he played with a heavy heart, and his grandmother passed away last week. But I think also the expectations of everybody saying to him he's going to be a top 5 pick, and see his mom and dad.
Mom and dad right there. Yeah. You know something, and again, coaches don't like to make something. A lot of times, if a kid's having a little problem with something, he's had problems with bronchitis, and you know, Bill addressed the fact his grandmother, how close they were, and his grandmother was in hospice care much longer than normal. And anyway, I think he got kind of drained with that as well. Inside, strong play, and he called offense. Whoa.
They walled up. Yep. Take a look now. Watch how Kansas walls up that low post. See the pass over the top to Gilstrap, and that's a good call, an easy call, really. Tyrell Reed puts his hands to the ceiling, establishes position. You got to read that if you're Marquez Gilstrap.
I think what the crowd was reacting more to, though, is he got whacked from behind before the body contacted below. Just guessing.
Yep.
36-23, 3:08 left to play, first half. Hilton Coliseum, Ames, Iowa. That's kicked by Taylor. Dominique Buckley comes back in. Xavier Henry and Sharon Collins back into the lineup. Withy will come to the bench. Bill Self talking to him, and Withy, there's Danny Manning right there to give him a high five, and Withy looks like he's having fun out there.
Well, he's a guy that, you know, as these Morris twins mature and leave, and Aldridge leaves, they just keep adding on those big guys, and they get to work with a guy like Danny Manning, as we mentioned, has become such a great tutor to guys like Darrell Arthur and Sasha Khan in the past, and now this group of young guys.
By the way, Deontay Garrett, the junior out of Milwaukee, transfer from Marquette. He's got 6 assists in this first half.
Well, he's a Milwaukee guy, Ron. His father played in the NBA for a number of teams. Dick Garrett. I remember when I was a youngster following the New York Knicks.
Played for 5 different teams. You're right.
Played in a couple of world championships as well. Yeah, he's been rock solid today, Deontay Garrett. But he should be. He's matured over a couple of years here with Greg McDermott.
And he's a leader. You saw him on Dendy's. And come out and help me with the screen. You know what you're supposed to do. Now that's Xavier Henry who gets the foul. First one on him. And a reminder, men's college basketball tonight's going to be Duke taking on Clemson. ESPN Saturday primetime. Primetime is presented by DirecTV. That's 9 o'clock Eastern time. And coverage actually will begin at 8 o'clock Eastern with College Game Day, driven by State Farm. Buckley gets the first. Quickly before the second, we'll look at the ACC standings with that ball game coming up at Littlejohn tonight. You a little bit surprised at UVA?
Not really, Ron. Tony Bennett is one of the best coaches in college basketball. Is a great hire. Now they've only played 3 games in the ACC, but nevertheless they're a very solid, well-coached team.
Stolen. Garrett.
Well, that's one he had to finish. He just kind of floated that one up there.
Boy, the UVA's got that gorgeous new arena.
Yes, they do.
Right there on campus.
The John Paul Jones Center, I believe.
Collins. Xavier Henry, the lefty. Boy, that's an air ball.
And Xavier does not look as comfortable as he did early in the year.
Really doesn't.
It's like he's not sure when to shoot. In fact, he shot a number of shots today that were contested. That one he's not contested, and he shoots an air ball.
Well, like I said, Wednesday night we talked about he seemed to be reticent about shooting some, but that one right there, just a total lack of confidence. Dendy off the mark. Rebounded by Henry.
Dendy's a guy that does not shoot the ball well from deep. That's one. He was open for a reason, Ron. He was open for a reason, meaning Kansas did not guard him, and he decided to shoot it anyway.
Yeah, that's a beautiful move to the basket by Xavier Henry. Good touch, showing the kiss off the glass.
And he's got the ability to do that. When your jumper's not going, find ways to score other than that.
Longest lead of the night. Biggest lead of the night, of the afternoon by Kansas, 13 points. And who do they give it to? Brackens. And boy, because of the pressure put on Craig Brackens, he put up an air ball. Tough defense. And now the shot clock is off. We're at 20 seconds left until intermission.
Now watch this, Ron. Look for somebody to get a three here. They have a set play they run at the end of shot clocks. And you got Collins that can go all the way.
Collins on the wing. There's Henry, and it's blocked. Brackens got a hand on it. 1.1 seconds showing on the clock.
Smart move by Bill Self. Cole Aldridge. He's going to stay on, but he's going to put Withy on the ball, lane to the floor. Now, not a lot of coaches would think about this with 1 second to go in half. He got Withy in 7 feet length, and now look what Christopherson has to back up and throw the ball.
He's having to ask the cheerleaders to back up there, so he's got room. Probably asking, can I stand on one of your shoulders here so you get this pass off? There it is.
Well, Brackens got away with a push.
Boy, he got away with a push, and look at Bill Self. He's out there asking the officials. Jimmy Caldwell is saying, I didn't see that. But anyway, we are at halftime. Our halftime score, 25 Iowa State, 38 Kansas. And now let's go to the UPS College Basketball Halftime Report with John Saunders. John? Welcome back to ESPN College Basketball, presented by 5 Hour Energy, 38-25. Our score at the intermission. And Fran, Iowa State, a victim of spurts on the part of KU, and they have struggled some in the first half.
Well, they have, Ron, particularly because they've turned it over 13 times, and we know that turnovers can lead oftentimes to easy baskets for a team that gets a lot of them anyway. So if you're Greg McDermott, that's got to be a concern.
Just a couple of minutes ago, let's go back into the locker room. Greg McDermott talking with his Cyclone basketball team.
Us getting back in transition, ready to play, and us not self-inflicting all these turnovers, stepping out of bounds or throwing a crazy pass in transition. Value every possession. Understand it's one stop at a time, one score at a time. There's no 13-point play. Just take your time. We'll whittle away at this lead. We'll be fine. Let's go.
Well, take a look. Here's what we're talking about in terms of taking care of the basketball. A little trap and a steal by Xavier Henry. He finishes at the other end, and you can't do that. And then you got to get back against Kansas and make them play on the perimeter. If you allow them to get in transition, Ron, they score easy in the half court, but they score a whole lot easier in the full court.
So, clock problems. Everything has run so smoothly until this moment. Take a look at the stats at halftime.
Well, you see those 15 points we talked about, and you want to beat a team like Kansas, you got to minimize your mistakes. That's why I mentioned earlier, if you're a guard for Iowa State, just hit singles. Don't try to hit home runs. And Brackens has done a good job of trying to create some offense for himself and his teammates. But Kansas, Ron, has so much length that it really has bothered him some.
Tell you something, Fran, both of these teams are very good three-point shooting teams. KU 1 of 10, Iowa State 1 of 4. So it's not working for them so far today. For Kansas, points in the paint, they're plus 12. Points off turnovers, plus 12. And second chance points, plus 8. So every one of those categories working extremely well for them.
A couple people asked Bill Self in the last week, why don't you full court press more? And he said, well, we've been pretty good defensively the last 7 years. There's a good shot by the transfer from Marquette.
Christopherson, 6'3", 200-pounder sophomore. Fran said he's out on the cross, and he is above his average right now, which is 7 points a ball game.
And he's playing in the place of the departed Lucas Steiger. Nice back cut.
Collins blocked inside by Hamilton. That's his 4th personal foul.
Now let's take a look. J.B. Caldwell says he caught him on the head. There's the drive. No, I think that's a clean block. I don't know. There's been more contact than that today.
Well, he's going to have to come out of the lineup as Collins converts the first one. And that means LaRon Dende, we talked about, he's the top post reserve, will come in replacing Justin Hamilton, the sophomore out of Alpine, Utah.
He's basically made a cameo today. Played 7 minutes in the first half with those 3 fouls. And this is a team, Ron, as you know, only 7 scholarship players. The margin for error has been sliced even more.
Bracken's not there. Marcus Morris comes down with the rebound. KU. Alley-oop Aldridge.
Brady Morningstar. He started last year. A lot of people thought that he would lose his spot because he missed the first semester due to a team suspension. But he's a great ball mover. Even when he doesn't get assists, he moves the basketball.
Touched last by Kansas.
There's an example of why Brady Morningstar is so important to Kansas. He knows his role, solid defensively, makes open shots, and he's a ball mover, not a ball stopper.
As we mentioned last week, his father, Roger, played 74, 75 for KU. His Brackens, boy, he didn't have much margin for error. He not only scores, no foul called. I beg your pardon, just the 2 points.
Yep, they got him for goaltending. Basket interference, Ron, but what he did so well right there is he recognized the double coming from the middle. He spun off it to where he was one-on-one.
Also, Morningstar's sister played volleyball for 4 years at KU. Xavier Henry just inside the 3-point line, not there, and the follow by Marcus Morris.
Well, what else is new? He's had 23 rebounds in the last 2 games coming in tonight.
Dende passed just a little too hard, couldn't hold on to it.
Well, that's frustration now for Craig Brackens. He makes a good pass to Dende, and Dende just drops it, an unforced turnover.
Marcus Morris.
Oh, is that a good move? That's great recognition right there. Created the one-on-one on Brackens, took it right to him. No double team came, and he knocked down that shot.
So let's take a timeout. 17:27 left in our game. Largest lead of the afternoon. 46-29 Jayhawks. Kansas on top, 46-29. Mr. Frischella, take us inside the play.
Well, take a look at this, Ron. Craig Brackens gets a lot of attention, so good post player, looks middle. He sees the double come, and then he's going to spin off the baseline where he's one-on-one with Morris. Good decision right there by Brackens. Aldridge knocks it into the basket, but Brackens, Ron, feeling the burden of being the playmaker and the scorer for this team right now.
Brackens with 9 points. As we mentioned, 42 his high water mark against Kansas, and that's going to be Morningstar with the foul.
One thing about Kansas, Ron, we saw the great run early, 8-0. They're off to a quick start this half. Good formula for winning on the road. Take the crowd out of the game.
Yep, 8-0 to begin the game, 8-4 to begin the second half.
Look at Aldridge. He's basically zoning up the lane right now.
Gilstrap for three.
Yep. And that was Bracken's pass to Deontay Garrett that set that up, Ron. And a good N1 pass by Garrett.
Tell you, he's capable in the big games. 20 points and 13 rebounds against Texas here.
Oh, he's been a solid player for Greg McDermott. This guy has been as well. How about Marcus Morris? How much has he grown up?
You were not with us, but in the Nebraska game, which was a week ago Wednesday, and Bill didn't make a big deal out of it. Bill Self did not start him, but he came in. He wound up being our MVP of the ball game. But the point is, the youngster was sending a message back to his coach: I don't want to be benched, and I want to make sure this basketball team wins. And he hasn't slowed down since. He's been playing like a man possessed.
And you have 11 All-Americans on your team, and you don't do what the coach wants, you're going to sit. And when you do what he wants, you'll play.
Aldridge. Oh, did he call it?
He'll take it.
I just want to know, did he call it? Bill Self is laughing. That's as big a laugh as I've ever seen him have on the sideline.
He and Cole Aldridge will take that too. Wow, this kid is impressive. And Ron, we got to talk about how Iowa State is trying to get that 6th year back for him.
Oh, nice dish by Collins. Okay, John, 50-35 is our score. We still got 15-31 left in our ball game, and your Fantastic Four.
Yep, as of right now, it changes week to week. I had West Virginia in the Final Four going back to November. I'll stick with them. Michigan State, Kansas, Kentucky. You know, this is not as an experienced Kansas team as a team in 2008. I think you can make the argument it's every bit as deep. And Brady Morningstar tried to poke that loose and stepped on the sideline.
Brady had a good ball game. I know when the guy you're guarding, he didn't guard him the whole night, gets 27 points, you might say, what? He gave Dunn a lot of trouble knocking the ball out of his hand on Wednesday night. And as we all know, Darius Dunn is as good as there is in the country. Well, left alone in the jam, Gilstrap, and Aldridge with the foul.
Gotta be careful. You love the Popeye pose, but don't taunt. But this kid is one heck of an athlete. Good look by Deontay Garrett over the trap. Nobody protected the rim, and he's been eating his spinach. Ooh.
Gilstrap tries to make it a three-point play. We said preseason newcomer of the year. It is his 5th year. Injured a patella tendon, which kept him out for 2 years. And folks, in that 2 years, he worked in a glass factory. He also delivered and sold pizza. He did a little bit of everything and said, I got to get back and finish my education. And so he's back doing that right now. He's playing really well.
He's playing well, and there's an appeal for him to get his 6th year back. NCAA will rule on that soon.
Kansas calls a timeout, 22 seconds on the shot clock. Well, the crowd is back in it, friend. Let's talk about your formula of winning on the road.
Well, there's a few things, Ron. Number one, you got to treat it like a business trip. You go up, you play, you get out of there, and you leave. Embrace adversity. Things go wrong on the road. Whether it's the bus breaking down or the hotel rooms aren't ready, chicken fingers are cold. This is a big one. This is what Kansas has done today. They took the crowd out of the game early. They took the crowd out of the game in the second half. And then I say this, stay in character. If you're a good team, you're a good team either home or away, and you got to play like it. And I think so far Kansas has played like a team that's number 2 in the country. So this is not an easy place to come and win.
Look at that record of Bill Self, 34-15 in Big 12 Conference road games. That's almost 70%. Collins.
That's a heck of a move. You know, Ken Pomeroy, Ron, the stat guy for college basketball. The last decade, he did some research for us this week. The road team in the Big 12 wins about 34% of the time.
Morningstar will come down with the rebound on that miss.
Another shot clock situation. It's at 34.
Said they're going to reset it at 28.
How would they know that without checking the monitor? You know, if you can go to the monitor, why not check it? In fact, I think that might be what they're doing. Hal Lusk, no, he's not going to do it. I mean, 28's a good round number to me, but why not check it if you have the monitor?
We might all be on the same flight out of Des Moines.
That could be it, Ron. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you better keep thinking about it, my friend.
Hey, Harrison Barnes plays tonight, the #1 high school player in the country down in Des Moines. I'll have something to do.
Three-pointer, knocking it down, Tyrell Reed.
You know, Reed and Morningstar, rock solid, two in-state kids. Of course, Reed, Mr. Basketball in Kansas as a senior from Burlington, Kansas. And Brady Morningstar, homegrown in Lawrence.
Reed's dad coached him.
Good double team, good ball movement.
Foul against Marcus Morris.
Ron, Craig Brackens does not get an assist for this, obviously, because there's a foul at the end of the play. And you see the end of the play, but Brackens did a really good job of passing that ball out of the double team. That ball got swung to the weak side. And that's why I say there's a lot of pressure on Craig Brackens when you're the main go-to guy. Because at 6'9", he's got to be a scorer and he's got to be their point guard from the low post.
Withy comes back into the ball game for KU. Jeff played, let's double check here, in the first half. 8 minutes.
Yep, career highs in minutes, points, and rebounds in the first half alone.
They'll take it down on the rebound. That's Gilstrap. Tough move inside. LaRon Dindy, the junior out of Greenville, South Carolina. He had 5 block shots against Texas. Morningstar. Nope. Markeith Morris tipped it back. Here's Gilstrap.
Right here.
Tyrell Reed with the foul, his first, and the team's fourth. Boy, talk about unlucky on a shot.
Well, Morris just got away with a bump of Garrett. That's
and
a bad
Garrett
break.
stepped on the in line.
When you're the underdog, every break has to go your way. That time I thought Morris got away with a push, no call. So what does Garrett do? He steps out of bounds, and another lost possession for Iowa State.
Dominic Buckley prepares to check into the lineup.
That's great.
Markeith to Withy.
It's all set up by a great post feed by Brady Morningstar. That'll never show up on the box score, but it's a reason why Bill Self has so much trust in the redshirt junior.
Back out on the wing. Good ball fake right there. And then Garrett misses his shot, but there's a foul by LaRon Dindy. 15-point ball game. Under 12 minutes to play. Collins for three. Nope. Gilstrap with the pass. Dindy is fouled.
But they have an intentional. Take a look at Brad Ferry. Comes out of the pack, the official.
Here's what happened just before we went to break.
Now, watch the foul. Now, this is not the best angle to see it, but Sharon Collins pulls Dindy's arm down. I think the second look will give you a good idea. And an intentional foul, Ron, doesn't have to be flagrant. It just has to be excessive contact. Sharon Collins going over to Dindy and saying, hey, I didn't do it on purpose, just a good hard foul. 2 shots in the ball.
Dindy misses the first, to the groans of the crowd.
He came in today 45% on the year and 0 for 5 today, Ron.
Gets the second one, and now they get the basketball. By the way, for Gilstrap, his 9th double-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds today. In fact, he has a double-double in all 4 Big 12 games this year.
A lot of NBA scouts here to see Cole Aldridge, Collins, Brackens, but Gilstrap will pop up on that radar screen just because of that athleticism.
There's Brackens, no.
Kansas is used to playing well on the road.
Cole Aldridge.
It's really understated, Ron, when you're a team like Kansas or Kentucky and you go on the road, you get everybody's best shot. You got a bullseye on your back.
Now it's Markeith Morris with the foul. Men's college basketball on ESPN Monday. First of all, at 7 o'clock, Georgetown takes on Syracuse. Then at 9, it's Missouri against these Kansas Jayhawks. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. All a part of ESPNU Campus Connection on ESPN.
And Missouri hosts Nebraska today at home. If they're able to get that one, they'll roll into Lawrence 3-1 on Monday night. Of course, in the Big East, Georgetown, Syracuse, 2 of those teams at the top of the league that are Final Four contenders.
And you and I next Saturday will see those same Missouri Tigers at home against the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
There'll be some running, gunning, and shooting threes in that one.
I'll tell you what, you better start rehearsing, getting underneath the table. Yeah. You think there were a lot in the K-State game?
Even the announcers got to have their track shoes on in that one.
That's right, your headgears, too. There's Markeith Morris. Reverses the move, scores, going to his left. And Hal Lusk, who made the call, said he hit him in the head.
Well, they say Marcus handles the ball a little bit better, but you wouldn't know it here with Markeith. Pretty nifty spin move off Brackens. Help comes a little late, never comes at all, and Brackens pops him on the side of the head.
First foul against Brackens. Only the second team foul against Iowa State. Free throw, gets it. And now here comes Hamilton back. And Hamilton comes on the floor with 4 personal fouls. They got to get him back in the game at the 10:45 mark. But I'm sure Coach McDermott said, whatever you do, play aggressively, but play careful and aggressive.
Yeah, you got to throw caution to the wind right now if you're Greg McDermott and you trail by this many points.
Aldridge gets the rebound, outlet pass, Reed at the other end. Taylor. Boy, closest person to was Danny Manning, and he was sitting down.
Not a bad guy to pass it to in his day,
no.
But not when he's wearing a shirt and tie. The intention was good by Taylor, the execution not so good. It's one of those mistakes a coach can live with, although only if you have a 17-point lead.
Nice situation for Bill Self to to have an alumnus, an All-American, a Hall of Famer, who is your big man's coach. And just absolutely loves it, and the kids love him because they know how much they learn. Last week, three-pointer just off the mark. Aldridge comes down with the interview with the rebound. He jammed one, and everybody said, oh, do it again. He said, one time a month. Three-pointer, not there. Here come the Cyclones. 62-45, under 10 to play. Brackens has it blocked by Aldridge. And Taylor at the other end.
Well, nice job by Taylor. And Taylor gave Gilstrap the little Popeye move there. I think if you're Taylor, you want to stay away from that. But take a look at this little body-to-body. Nice job by Taylor. He took his body right at Gilstrap and flexed a little muscle after that.
3 fouls on Gilstrap. Misses, but Colt Aldridge rebounds. Taylor.
Well, good ball movement. Taylor was not going to shoot that ball, but they left him wide open. And all started with Cole Aldridge. Big rebound. He just got it right back out.
So Taylor scores at one end, picks up a foul at the other.
What a luxury Bill Self has, Ron. He's got maybe the best point guard in the country, or right up there among the 2 or 3 best, and one of the best big men to anchor the inside in Cole Aldridge. There's a lot of balance at the top of the Big 12, particularly between Kansas and Texas. And of course, February 8th, Kansas will go to Texas, as you know. On a neutral court, I think the difference might be, of course, either team could win 5 out of 10. We know that, but just having the experience of Aldridge and Collins, Collins particularly in the backcourt.
Yep. You know, another big game is coming up. I'm going to have to check the schedule. Kansas State, before long here, next week or so, goes to Waco.
Yeah, Tuesday night. Yep. That'll be a fun game.
Yeah, it will be a fun game. Yeah, and getting to see Baylor in person the other night. They not only have got their usual situation of good guard play, but boy, AC and
Udo.
Yep.
How about Anthony Jones?
Well, they can play now. All 3 of those kids can. Very well they can play.
Bill Self said last night, we were talking to him, Perry Jones, the 6'11" senior from Duncanville, he'll come to Baylor next year, one of the top 5 or 10 players in the country. And that'll be one of the longest teams in college basketball online.
Markeith Morris picks up his 4th, so he goes to the bench. And one more shot for Justin Hamilton. On the way, and he gets it. So 20-point ball game, about to go into 9 minutes to play. Well, Marcus may have been fouled that time by Brackens. Well, we mentioned it in the first half. We talked about only 7 scholarship players, but when you look, Vanderbeeken seeking a medical red shirt, Boozer tore up an ACL against Texas out for the season. Steiger decided he was going to head back to Germany, and Pomley dismissed from the ball club.
Well, you have a team, you're playing Kansas, who's already good, but then they really wear you down with depth, and something we've seen here in the second half. Cyclones' effort's been good, but Bill Self played 11 players in the first half.
Marcus Morris, that was partially blocked. Dindy got a hand on it, and it's going to go back to the Cyclones.
You look at a guy like Elijah Johnson, who hadn't played much today, and he would be, probably one of the best players at Iowa State. And he's the 11th man.
For KU, you're talking about.
At this point, yeah.
For people who don't follow the Jayhawks.
Yeah, promising freshman.
On the baseline, almost got it tied up. Christopherson. Nope. Tipped back out. Here's Colvin. No look pass and block. That's going to be goaltend against Cole Aldrich. Morningstar will come back in. And Tyrell Reed will get a breather. By the way, Tyrell Reed and Cole Aldrich are roommates. And both were just officially nominated this week for the COSIDA All-American Academic Team. So congratulations to those two young men. Outstanding on the floor and also in the classroom.
It's not enough for Bill Self to have good players. He's got a lot of smart ones, too.
Remember Christian Moody?
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites there. And there's Marcus Morris.
He's so hard to guard because he's very, very mobile, Ron. He's got a very slithery game for a guy his size.
Well, that shouts off to Mark Morningstar. And here comes KU. They want to run again. Morris. Nope. Comes down to Dendy. Dendy against Morris. That's a pretty good matchup right there. And he's going to have to pass the ball. Nice job by Morris defensively.
He's done a good job today, Marcus, on Brackens as well.
You know, Chris Colvin, the freshman out of Chicago, off the mark. And Christopherson got just enough of it, and on the follow, a third chance, and Marcus Morris couldn't get it to go.
That's going to kill his field goal percentage over the last 4 games.
Blocked by Aldrich with the left hand. Collins for 3. Nope.
Collins has 8 points today, Ron, but it doesn't matter. He's run the team.
Fran, right now, because of only the 7 players that they have, you can see definitely fatigue in the part of these Cyclone kids. And boy, they have played hard. But when you're going up against a team that's playing 11 people, and every one of them are really good, as Hamilton gets the follow and tips it in, Iowa State calls a timeout. Still, I think that's the reason that Greg is calling this timeout right here.
Well, remember in the first half when we were inside that huddle of Kansas, as Bill Self said exactly that. We have an advantage in depth. Let's use it, and he has used it well by getting a lot of guys in that lineup.
Well, men's college basketball, ESPN Saturday primetime tonight. Number 6 Duke against number 16 Clemson. Saturday primetime is presented by DirecTV, and of course coverage begins now at 8 Eastern time, a college game day, which is driven by State Farm. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla, coming to you from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa.
Mike Krzyzewski of Duke has not lost 4 straight road games since 1982, Ron, his second year at Duke. So that is not going to be an easy game to win in tonight, Little John Coliseum.
It's been a heartbreaking place for a lot of people on Tobacco Road up there, hasn't it?
Well, especially lately. Oliver Purnell is a master. He may be the best builder of programs in the country.
You think so?
Yeah, Radford.
It's a heck of a compliment, but I don't disagree with it at all.
Old Dominion, Radford, Dayton, and now Clemson. A lot of people didn't think you could win at Clemson, and they've gotten better every year.
I remember going up to Dayton and see his ball club play in an early round of an NIT game, and how impressive that ball club was as Aldridge misses on the short hook.
No, and I reiterate, he may not be the best coach in the country. He's a very good coach in terms of building programs. He's done it 4 times.
Well, Gilstrap just simply could not get that one back up. Under 6 minutes to play. 69-51. Jayhawks on top.
Right now, you're Bill Self, and you're trying to get to that 4-minute mark with a good lead. And then what you want to do is get your best players out of the game, because you play about 48, 50 hours from now.
So we'll take a timeout. 69-51. Kansas. We'll be right back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Infiniti, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
Your car works hard for you. Give it the fuel it wants. The hard-working gas from Phillips 66, specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, reduce emissions, and above all, help maximize mileage with every tank. Keep your car satisfied and help maximize mileage with Phillips 66, hard-working gas.
ABC, your home for the NBA Sunday Showcase. Conference rivals step into the league's ultimate spotlight. First, Chauncey Billups and Carmelo Anthony lead the high-flying Nuggets against Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and the Spurs. Then, one of the game's classic rivalries is renewed.
What a pass!
As Kobe Bryant and the defending champs storm Beantown to take on Paul Pierce and the Celtics. NBA Sunday Showcase. Nuggets, Spurs, and Lakers Celtics. Coverage begins Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on ABC.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
5:40 left to play in this one. 69-51. Kansas on top, and at the free throw line is Justin Hamilton.
Actually, Justin Hamilton's been pretty solid when he's been on the floor today, but he's been saddled with those 4 fouls, but he's got 7 points in limited minutes.
Also got 4 rebounds.
This is a late bloomer, Ron. This is a kid from Alpine, Utah. His mom and dad were athletes at BYU, and BYU passed up on him. And of course, BYU ranked right now very high. I think 16-1.
One of his best games this year was 8 points and 9 rebounds against the Houston Cougars.
Now, for those people who didn't think Kansas would miss Brady Morningstar or in the first semester, or didn't think he was a big part of this team, I think we've seen, Ron, in Big 12 play, just the value he brings to Bill Self's team.
Well, Bill started him 34 of 35 times last year, and the only reason he didn't get number 35, it was senior day, and he gave up to one of his friends for that one. 3-pointer on the way, and got it. Again, it's Gilstrap.
Boy, how good is he? He has been really solid. I've been really impressed with him. I watched them practice in the fall, and I was impressed.
Marcus Morris misses and gets his own follow.
So you don't want to let Iowa State back in this game right now, but as a coach, Ron, Bill Self's trying to get to the 3-minute mark so he can get some of these starters out and start to prepare for Monday night.
Yep, you're going to need to rest your legs, your whole body. You get ready for the Missouri Tigers. Garrett, little too high, little short, and he hustles for it and gets the long carry. Christopherson lost the handle. Collins has it. Bill Self up quickly and holds a fist in the air.
Right now, he's just milking clock. He's got the game under control, but I guarantee you he's already started thinking about Monday night in terms of when to get Collins and Aldridge out.
Aldridge reverses the turn that time and shows that moving over his right shoulder that he can be just as agile as the other way.
17 for Cole.
Christopherson a little short on the play, and rebounding again is Cole Aldridge. 17 points and 10 rebounds for him now. 7 double-doubles, and in a career 29 double-doubles for Cole Aldridge.
And the worst thing right now is for one of Bill Self's main guns is to sprain an ankle. Right, he's trying to slow the pace of this game right now.
Morningstar couldn't get it and knocked out of bounds by Aldridge. So we got a timeout. 2:59 remaining. 75-56. KU on top, trying to close it out and go 4-0 in the conference. Welcome back to ESPN College Basketball, presented by 5 Hour Energy. 75-56 our score, with the Kansas well in control on this one. And on the floor it goes, and KU comes away with it. That's Marcus Morris. Boy, in the paint, KU 42 points to 22.
And their big guys showed up today, didn't they? Not that you didn't think they would, but
Well, we mentioned those numbers on Cole. 17 points for him. Marcus Morris with 16.
I know Marcus Morris's field goal percentage has gone down, but he's going to pad those rebound stats.
Well, his numbers were 80% shooting in the conference. Then he missed those 3 in a row and give the easy 2 to Gilstrap. What does Gilstrap have now? 20 points for him. Is that right, or 18? 18.
You know, what's interesting about Gilstrap, Ron, and he's been terrific today, but Craig Brackens gets so much defensive attention from teams. And today we saw him double team quite a bit, that it makes the game a little bit easier for Marquez.
Well, almost stolen and stolen right back by Morningstar. Collins double pump, left hand, scored it.
Right now, if I were Bill Self, I would clear that bench out.
After scoring in the 20s and the 30s in the last 6 ball games, Collins this afternoon just now went into double figures. Doesn't care.
No.
Just his team is winning.
Doesn't matter.
Everybody else having a nice afternoon, and he's not troubled by it. So when your leader is that way, one of the best at his position in the country, as you have pointed out so well for him, that is a wonderful thing for the coaching staff.
Well, he knows he's going to take big shots in big games later in the year, and he knows his team. He probably felt pretty confident after the first 10 minutes his team was going to win today. And so what he did is he made sure everybody else handled the ball, touched the ball, got shots, and he'll have a quiet 11 and 6 assists.
You know, and at the other end of the floor, Greg McDermott, he's been standing for at least a minute with Deontay Garrett, the junior out of Milwaukee. This is his 50th consecutive start, and still doing coaching. Even though his ball club is down big, Hamilton's going to go to the free throw line. Greg McDermott has always been, absolutely to me, as fine a coach as there is in this league. Love his demeanor, how he handles his kids, the whole thing. And he's had more bad luck than any 5 coaches should have had. That's all I'll say. I'm not making excuses for him, but he deserves a better fate than what he's had here. Coming up next on ESPN, more ESPN college basketball presented by 5 Hour Energy, with Michigan taking on number 15 Purdue.
You know, it's funny when you're not at a place like Kansas or Duke or Kentucky, and even in places like that, Ron, success is very fragile. An injury, a guy transfers.
The margin for error or hurt or somebody, just what is exactly what you're saying.
Slimmer, much slimmer.
Yeah. Well, getting some of the subs in now. Thomas Robinson, who actually had played some in the first half, and that's now 6 points for him. Jams the ball home. And a 3-pointer off the mark. Robinson skies for the rebound.
And that last assist was by Chase Buford, the son of San Antonio Spurs executive R.C. Buford.
Withy with the basket.
Withy padding on those career highs.
Anyway, he's getting close to double figures here.
You know what? He did a great job in the first half of making it hard. There you see the length, making it hard for Craig Brackens to score inside.
Connor Tehan picks up the foul. Well, it's going to make it 4-0 in conference play, 18-1 overall. Iowa State will fall to 1-3, 12-7 overall. And we got 30.9 seconds remaining. Don't forget that big game coming up in the Big Ten Conference immediately following this one. Michigan and Purdue. With these career best previous to now, 2 points, 2 rebounds. Today's got 8 points and 5 rebounds. And Bill Self has just sent word down, don't you dare shoot. Come down and just run the clock all the way out. And let's head back to Lawrence. Johnson stands out yo-yoing the basketball, under 5 seconds to play. And 84-61, it is official as the two head coaches shake hands across the way. Kansas wins it, perfect in conference play at 4-0. And now for Fran Fraschilla and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Ron Franklin.